Presets versus sound design, which one is better? Are you a real producer if you use presets? That's what we'll look at in this video. I interviewed 3 different producers and asked them all the same question, so we'll hear from them. What do they think? Can you use presets or should you be designing your own sounds?
The answer to that question depends on the stage you're in. For example, if you're a white belt producer, a beginner, for the first 12 to 15 months, just get yourself a good sound bank or sound pack or whatever synthwave sounds for whatever synths you have, and use them so you can get your ears trained to certain kinds of sounds. And in parallel, learn just a little bit of synthesis and sound design so you can tweak those patches a little bit. But initially, for those first 12 to 15 months, don't go down the rabbit hole of trying to design your own patches, right? Just use patches, tweak them a little bit, because even Time Cop did that for the first, 5 or 8 years of his career. I don't think he does that anymore. But in any case, so and instead focus your time on composition, on mixing, on arranging, on coming up with ideas and creating music that sounds good. Then after 15 months or something, or 12, give or take, once you have you got your bearings and you have solid skills on all that I mentioned, okay, now then you can start looking into sound design, because by that time you'll most likely have faced the situation where there's a specific sound that comes to mind and I just can't find it in my patches. Maybe I have it, maybe I don't, and I'm just spending like 30 minutes, 40 minutes trying to find something, right? And when you get to that point, that's where maybe your ears are trained and ready to start going into sound design. So today, I don't think I use almost any presets. Most of them, for my tracks, I make them my own, unless I'm going with a marimba sound from the accordion one or something, right? You can't synthesize a marimba sound. But right now, to me, it's super easy. And it's very clear to me because of all the tutorials that I've made about basses, pads, and that. Like in 3 minutes, I can create almost any kind of bread and butter patch that I want. So for me, it takes more time to go into a library and find patches that I like. And most of the times I go, okay, synthwave basses. And sorry, but even the Time Cop Tau X library, I try to go for a bass, and most of them I don't like. So I spend a lot of time going through that. And that's what happens to me, right? I go, okay, a pad. And I go to someone's library, and it's a pad with a bunch of bull BS that it's like, I can't fit this into any kind of track. I wasted 5 minutes just going there. So I just design my own patches very quickly. But you need to get to that point. And again, it's not in your initial stages. Leave that for year and a half, after 2 years in. So once you have your ears developed and have had time or have the bandwidth to look into sound design, study, and train, because that's a rabbit hole in and of itself. And that is setting aside FM synthesis, right? Because that, for me, if I'm going to use anything FM related at the moment, it's strictly a preset machine, like the Aha bass or the other Take My Breath Away bass and some other sounds that I know. I just use it as a preset machine, but forget about trying to come up with cooking up something from scratch. That's a whole nother ballpark, man. It's also another different rabbit hole.
Real quick, if you're getting value from this video, go ahead and hit that like button below so other producers like yourself can find this content. Is it fine to use presets, or
Absolutely,
do you want to design your own sounds, or is there a time and a place for each?
Absolutely, nothing wrong with presets. I used presets a while ago, and I sort of dropped them just because I wanted to get more into sound design and really force myself to, dial in my own sounds. But absolutely nothing's wrong with presets. I have preset packs that I've given to students. I just say, here, try to use this, or, I was giving them away for a while. And as for sound design, I think after a while, if you sort of understand what's going on with your presets, and maybe even reverse engineer a few of them just to see how they were created, I think that's a great way of getting into sound design and understanding the complexity of a synth, and how you have, your most basic synth is really an oscillator, a filter, and an amp, and then figure out how envelopes work and figure out how LFOs work and all those other effects, which is why I like Serum, because everything is concentrated in that synth. You don't really need too many external other synths or other effects. It's really all there. You can really dial in some amazing sounds. But if you're starting off, definitely use some presets and then slowly venture off into sort of sound design. And I think it's the one of the one of the best ways of learning sound design is to get under the hood and try to figure things out.
That's really cool. So yeah, don't need to spend a ton of time learning sound design if you're starting out. Just use those presets, and then as you develop, you can start messing with sound design. If you're like a beginner to intermediate, is it worthwhile putting in the time to learn sound design, or are you kind of better off just using presets or even buying preset packs like the ones you create?
I think it is worth. Like, I love twitching. Like, if you are a producer and you are producing something unique to you and something very personal, you can use the presets because the presets are great. But sometimes you want something very specific that maybe nobody's ever thought of, or something like that. And if you know sound design, you can make these little tweaks to presets that are already great, right? So, especially if you are this kind of producers that have a very unique taste or a very unique way of producing. Like, you visualize everything before you start making your track. So that's good. I think it's good to know, so you can twitch a little bit the presets you have.
Okay.
Maybe not start from zero, because start from zero it takes time.
Yeah.
But like if you're making Synthwave, you can have a bank of Synthwave. But let's say the preset have a quarter note delay, and you just want a 16 note delay. You know how to do it. No, you go to the FX tab, change it. You want a little drift. No, grab an LFO and put it to the fine tuning and stuff like that. But if you don't know anything about sound design, you can't do that.
With that being said, if you want help finishing more radio quality music faster, I've got a free mixing checklist you can check out in the description below. Just go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/mixing checklist, and this will walk you through a proven step-by-step process for mixing your songs so that you can be confident when you go forward. You're not constantly chasing your tail, undoing the work you've done, and you can end up finishing a lot more music faster at a higher quality level. So this is completely free. Again, just grab it in the description below, or go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/mixing checklist. And if you want to check out another video of mine that walks through how to actually get into sound design and learning sound design, then check out my video playing on the screen right now. With that, have an awesome day, keep creating, and I'll see you in a future video.